So again, begin as you wish, which again, we're saying maybe sore, a little stiff after the weekend. You might begin on your back if that feels okay, or you might begin in a child's pose if that's where you traditionally begin, and that's a great way for you to center. You might begin seated if that, again, is where you might choose to be today, but making a choice how you want to begin your practice and choosing to begin your practice. And this often starts by focusing our attention, right? Because so often our attention is scattered all over the place and we become disconnected from our bodies and we become disconnected from ourselves and our true selves and the things we want in life. So we begin by using the body just to feel around, to notice how you feel physically. And this begins to focus the mind and the brain in ways. And we can begin to cultivate a connection, reconnecting to the body. Noticing if maybe you're unconsciously contracted in the neck and the shoulders and the jaw space. This is normal. This is how the body, when we get mentally stressed, the body kind of physically prepares for attack in the worst case scenario. So we kind of tense up in our muscles and the breath becomes kind of shallow and it becomes scattered and it becomes shaky in some ways. And by refining the breath and just inhaling deeper and fuller, bringing in oxygen and prana, and then exhaling equal or maybe slightly longer through the nose and just finding a nice smooth breath. We begin to do mental and emotional work as well as we begin to physically kind of refine the breath. So just take a few moments here, breathing in maybe fuller than what you would unconsciously do through your nose, and breathing out through your nose, an equal or maybe slightly longer exhale. And as we're breathing here, you might find some shakiness or some areas where kind of gasp a little bit, or with the inhale or the exhale. And as we kind of smooth and refine these bumps in our breath, we also do mental and emotional work as well as the physical work. So let's take maybe one more breath wherever you are. And then we can move onto our backs. So if you're not there already, you can go ahead and come to your back. Have your knees bent and then hands on your kneecaps. And we'll just do a few appanasanas here. So you'll hold the knees, and as you inhale, we'll straighten the arms, take the knees away a little bit. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, bring the knees to your chest nice and gently. And we'll do this again. As you breathe in, take your knees away, straightening the arms. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, bring the knees back to the chest. We'll do maybe 3 more of these, just gently opening up the spine a bit and opening up the hips, even the wrists and the shoulders, the elbows. And we'll breathe in as you straighten the arms and take the knees away. So the in-breath is where the knees move away. And then the out-breath is where you bring your knees back nice and slowly. So maybe 1 more of these. Nice full breath in. You might have your eyes closed, right? Just directing more attention into the body. And then an equal or longer breath out. And then you can gently rest the hands and the feet down to the ground. And take a moment here just to feel. Maybe you have some tingling in your fingers or maybe in your arms, maybe feel sensations in the shoulders. Maybe you can feel your heart beating. And we're still kind of directing our attention back to the body, kind of reconnecting, but also really focusing the brain in some ways. You're going to do some brain work. So we'll begin with just some shoulder stretches. You can leave your feet as they are, or maybe you bend your knee or bring your knees together. So you're just kind of resting the legs more. But as you inhale, just reach the arms up overhead so the backs of the hands may touch the ground above you. As you exhale, gently bring your hands back down by your hips. And we'll do this maybe 3 more times. As you breathe in, expand the lungs as you reach the arms up and back. And then exhale an equal or longer breath as you gently bring your hands by your hips. Good, and maybe another round or 2, and you can have your eyes closed and just feel, not only are we stretching the shoulders, but what happens in your back, or what happens in the belly, right? What happens in the chest, what happens in your jaw, right? Just kind of, again, moving into the body, reconnecting to self, and allowing the brain to stop its work and the planning. So we can gently, with your next in-breath, rest your arms overhead, right? And you can bend your elbows, at any angle that allows you to just comfortably relax your arms overhead, but again, opening up through the chest space, the shoulder space. Again, you might even feel a little stretch into the belly or into your lower back. And you can leave your knees as they are, or it might feel nice to gently sway the knees side to side, feeling a bit of a stretch into the side body and the hips. And take one more breath here. And again, expand your lungs as you inhale. Now you feel the ribs expand as you exhale. You can gently bring your knees back to center and then bring your elbows down one at a time maybe, and resting your hands. You might even bring your hands to your body or by your hips, but just bringing them down below the shoulders. And just taking a moment there, maybe tingling in the hands or the feet or the arms or the legs. Good. And then from here, let's do a full body stretch. So extending the arms overhead and the legs out wide. This time we'll do our banana stretch. So take your legs over to the right, and then you might choose to take your arms to the right as well, but we want to stretch into the left side body. So it may be in the leg, it might feel like in your hip, in your rib, maybe even your shoulder. But I want to breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the nose, and allow the body to relax, right? Settle into the mat as you exhale. Take maybe last breath here. And when you're ready, you can come back to center, and you might choose to stay in the center for a moment and just kind of feel the differences on the sides. Sometimes I'll switch the feet side to side, and then you can take the legs to the left when you're ready. And you might choose to shift the upper body over to the left, but the intention is to stretch into the right side. Right? And use your in-breaths again to expand your lungs, stretch your shoulder, your ribs, your hip maybe. And as you exhale, try and find softness and ease and melting with the out-breath. Do one more breath on the side, and we can come back to center whenever you're ready. And a moment for yourself, but we'll be bringing the knees back to the chest once again. And you can take your time. Sometimes I'll do one knee at a time or one arm at a time, but once you bring your hands to your knees, add in a little bit of fascia work, where you massage your lower back, maybe by rocking side to side, or maybe by circling your knees or scissoring the knees, but just massaging into the low back and the sacrum area. And then we can come bringing the knees to center. As you inhale, take the arms over the head and the feet to the sky. And as you exhale, we'll bring the knees to the chest and the hands down by your hips. And we'll do that again. As you inhale, feet to the sky, arms overhead, we begin to open up the back line of the legs, the back. As you exhale, we tuck back in nice and slowly. Good. Again, you might flex your feet as you inhale, so you open the backs of your legs. Okay, but as you exhale, relax the feet, gently rest the feet and the hands down. But this time you can just rest your hands and feet down all the way down to the ground. And then you might take a moment there in stillness, or it might feel nice to sway the knees side to side or stretch the legs out. Okay, but next we'll be doing a pigeon, a supine pigeon variation, where you cross your right ankle over the left knee. And then we'll lift the legs and reach the hands for the left leg. And this should stretch the right side. So right outside the leg, you might feel it in your glutes or maybe even into your back or your shoulder. Right? And then you might be still here. Sometimes I'll turn the chin side to side, and this can help floss some fascia buildup in the neck even. If you're in your pigeon and you just kind of gently turn your chin side to side, and you might stretch into the back, flossing some of the fascia. And we'll take our last breath in this pigeon variation, and then you can rest, right? So you might bring your hands or rest your hands. You might ground your feet. You might choose to stretch out or add a twist. And we'll take a moment between sides. And then we can take the left ankle over the right knee when you're ready. You'll lift the legs, holding to the right leg. And likely you kind of lift and contract to get the grab, but try to relax the shoulders back. Right? Maybe relax your right leg or foot. And then a couple of breaths here, and you might choose, sometimes I'll, again, turn the chin side to side. And because everything is connected, we just work different mobility planes and kind of fascia that builds up between the muscles and the tendons. So last breath like this, and we can release this side, and again, take a moment to do as you like. You might find stillness or counter stretch or a little movement of your choice. Then we can bring the knees to the chest as you're ready, and maybe a little rock or circle here, but it does a lot of good just to massage into the back of the body, and just kind of self-massage and move in a way that feels best for you. It does good for the body, but also the brain. And we can take another moment here, and then we can make our way into our tables. So you can maybe roll to the side, or you can rock and roll up, but we'll come on 2 hands and knees. We'll do some cat-cow variations here. So grounding into your hands and the tops of your feet. As you inhale, lower the belly and lift the head and tailbone up. And as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, lift up through your back. And a few more of these, maybe 3, 4, 5, depending on how fast or slowly you move. And try to move and breathe. And you want to keep the movement with the breath and try to move and breathe very slowly, right? So the in breath is where you lift the head and tailbone. The out breath is where you tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and round like the cat. Then maybe 2 or so more on your own, and then you might close your eyes and just direct more attention into the space of the body. It's healthy for body and brain. We can come into our child's pose whenever you're ready. Just taking a few moments to settle in, and every day is different, so this time you might have your knees a little closer together, or you might feel better, to be more upright. Right? If you just had lunch, it might not feel good at all. Often after I eat before my practice, I won't even do child's pose. I'll come to a seated posture because it just crunches off the intestines too much. So just take a few moments for yourself, right, in a restful, most relaxing posture where you can be. And just another breath in and out, feeling the body expand and contract. Right, and then when you're ready, we'll come into a downward dog. So you can come up into your table and then downward dog as you exhale. We'll just take maybe 3 breaths here. Sometimes I'll lift the heels and bend the knees. Sometimes I'll bend one knee at a time. Sometimes I just find stillness. And we'll take another breath in and out here in our downward dog. And then let's bring the knees down to the mat again. And let's find a child's pose. So just a moment to rest. Again, if child's pose isn't comfortable, you can sit upright. But take maybe 3 or so breaths. Right? And part of our yoga practice is to release the contraction and the stress we carry around that we don't realize until the moments when we come to our mats and someone says, hey, relax. And, oh my gosh, I didn't realize. So this is part of the practice, is releasing that stuff we carry around unconsciously. So in each moment of relaxing, we try to kind of release the contraction wherever it may be. But we can come back into our downward dog. So we'll get into a little bit of movement, a little bit of flow. So from downward dog, let's inhale forward into plank. And then as you exhale, lower down to the mat. You do a little bit of work from our stomach. So you want to have the forehead to the mat and the hands underneath your elbows. And we'll do Cobra with the in-breath where you lift the head and tailbone. And then exhale, head and tailbone. Lift your head and shoulders. And then exhale, lower your forehead down. And then we'll do that again. The hips stay down. You inhale and lift up. And then as you exhale, you lower down. One more time, we'll inhale and lift up for Cobra. And then exhale as you lower down. And then rest, right? You might make a pillow with your hands, resting your head on your hands. It might feel nice to just rest the cheek to the mat. Arms may be upper back. But again, just a moment to rest. Good, and then we'll do a few locust poses, bringing the hands back by your hips. Palms face each other, and as you inhale, we'll lift everything except for the hips. So head, hands, and feet, and then exhale as you lower down. And then we'll do that again. As you inhale, lift everything except for the hips. Exhale as you lower down. One more time. Inhale as you lift up, and then exhale as you lower down. And then bring your hands under your elbows. We'll push up through Cobra, and then back, downward dog, maybe child's pose, maybe some cat-cow breaths with your exhale. Right? So it might feel good to take child's pose. Sometimes I'll take some cat-cow variations where we do circles. You might like to have your downward dog here, but take a few moments to counter as honors you. And then we'll all meet in a downward dog. So when you're ready, coming to your downward dog, take a nice deep breath in there and bring your feet to the top of your mat with your exhale, forward fold. We'll halfway lift with the in-breath with a flat back here, and then fold as you exhale. We'll come to stand. Inhale as you reach the arms to the sky. Bring the hands to your heart with your exhale. Good. Nice deep breath in and out here. Good. We'll do some just some standing heart opener stuff. I'm going to kneel so that you can see me because I don't know if my head's cut off. But you'll begin with your hands just at your sides. And as you inhale, you'll externally rotate your thumbs out and kind of pull the shoulder blades towards each other. You might even lift your chin. And as you exhale, you'll roll the palms in, roll the shoulders, and tuck the chin. This should open up your upper back. As you breathe in, externally rotate the hands, maybe lift the heart, lift the chin, and then exhale, turn the palms in, and again, kind of tuck the chin, round like the cat. And we'll do that again. So as you inhale, you can make this into a bigger back bend if it feels good, heart opener. Yeah, and then as you exhale, internally rotate, turn the palms in, maybe round like the cat. So last one, big breath in, and then stay here with your exhale. Take one more breath in, and then we can fold forward with the exhale. So you'll just fold all the way down. Hands come down towards your ankles, and then halfway lift with your in-breath. We want a flat back here. And then fold with the exhale, and we'll stay in this forward fold for a few breaths. And you can do as you like. You might choose a ragdoll where you cross your hands into your elbows. You might let your arms hang. We've done a few things with the hands behind the back, so it might feel good to interlace your fingers behind the back and open the shoulders, but that might be too much. We'll take last breath in this forward fold. And then if you had a bind, allow your arms to hang as you roll up nice and slow, and really try to stretch up your back. Maybe close your eyes so you can articulate as the roll all the way up, stretching even into your neck. And then a moment at the top, just to feel into the space of the body. Good. And then from here, as you inhale, lift your arms up to the sky, and then do goddess elbows as you exhale. So kind of lift the heart, lift the chin. And then as you inhale, you'll reach back up, and you might touch the palms. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, lift the heart, lift the chin. We'll do that one more time. As you inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. As you exhale, bend your elbows, lift the heart, lift the chin. This time we'll inhale, reach up. And again, we'll forward fold with the exhale all the way down. And then we'll halfway lift with the inhale, fold with your exhale. And we'll come to stand with your in-breath, reaching your arms all the way up to the sky, bringing your hands to your heart with your exhale. Good. Take a nice deep breath in and out here. Good. And then let's work with let's work with a wide leg stance. So turn so that you can face me, and we'll have the toes face the wide side of the mat. And then let's turn the right toes out, and we'll work with a warrior two on our right. So right toes face the short side of your mat, left toes face the wide side. We'll bend the right knee and bring the hands to shoulder height for warrior two. Good, and as you inhale, let's straighten the right leg, lift both arms up to the sky, and then back to warrior two as you exhale. We'll do this 2 more times, kind of opening the hips, breathing in, straightening the leg and the arms, and then exhale, hands come to shoulder height, just the right leg bends. 1 more time, inhaling up, and then warrior two as you exhale. Good, stay here, just 1 breath in, 1 breath out. And then we can lift up as you inhale, and then just rest your arms down as you exhale. Okay, turn both toes to face the wide side of the mat, and then just take a moment noticing the differences in the quads, the hips, the shoulders. And then we'll switch sides. So left toes turn out for warrior two on the left. So left knee bends, right? Hands come out to shoulder height. And as you inhale, we'll straighten the left leg, lift both arms up to the sky, and then back to warrior two as you exhale. Good, 2 more of those. Nice, inhaling as you lift up. Exhale, warrior two, bending that left knee nice and deep. 1 more time, inhaling up. Warrior two as you exhale, and then stay here. Just breathing in, breathing out. Good, and then as you inhale, you straighten your leg, lift your arms up, and then just resting the arms down as you exhale, turning both toes to face the wide side of the mat. And again, just a moment here, noticing how you feel. And we'll do a wide leg forward fold this way. You might choose to interlace the hands behind your back if you like that, or no pressure to do that at all. But we'll inhale and then fold with the exhale for your forward fold. Again, arm placement of your choice. We want to allow the head to drop, right? Allowing the jaw to relax. Sorry, when I say allow, but it usually is like an intention. You have to consciously release the contraction. And then consciously moving the breath in and out 1 more time here. Good, and then we'll slowly make our way back up to stand. So coming back up, keep your chin tucked. So kind of a little lightheadedness at the top, but tucking the chin helps, allowing and the energy to settle back down through the body. And then we can kind of heel toe the feet in a bit. Just kind of give the ankles a break. Sometimes I'll stretch the top of the feet or the ankles. Sometimes I'll roll the ankles. Good. We're working with a little bit of goddess pose, again for hips, but we'll add some twists. So we'll turn the toes out and take the feet wide, pretty wide that your knees don't go past the ankles, so pretty wide. And as you inhale, we'll lift the arms and reach up to the sky, and then exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows for goddess, but we want to keep spinal alignment. And we'll do that again. As you inhale, lift up, and then exhale and squeeze your tailbone, like tuck to pull the shoulder blades together. One more time, we'll inhale up, and then goddess as you exhale, and we'll stay here. So what we don't want is what we did earlier, where we were like arching like this. We want to kind of keep pulling the belly button and keep pulling the lower ribs in. Nice strong goddess. Last breath here. And then we can rise up with the in-breath and then just rest with your exhale. You're gonna take a moment. You might want to stretch your ankles or do a wiggle, forward fold, nice. Good. We'll do one more round of goddess where we add in some twists. So this time we'll just, we won't go back and forth with the breath, but we'll inhale, lift your arms up, and then exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows, and then stay here and bring your hands to your thighs and kind of take some weight into your thighs. Inhale here, and then exhale. Lower the right shoulder down as you twist, and then come back through center as you inhale, and then exhale, left shoulder lowers, twisting to the right. So again, come back through center, breathe in, nice twist with your exhale, squeeze the belly, come back through center, breathe in, balancing the sides, exhaling as you twist, come back through center, breathe in, stay here as you exhale. And then we'll lift all the way up with the in-breath, and you can rest with your exhale and take a few moments. And you might want to stretch your ankles, shoulder roll. But we'll meet back at the top of the mat when you're ready to move on. So coming into your mountain pose at the top of your mat, finding alignment in your bones so that we're not kind of pressing the hips forward, or, we want to kind of, again, pull the hips over the ankles. Pull the lower ribs in. You want to kind of stack the shoulders over the hips and the ankles instead of being rounded forward. But with your in-breath, let's reach the arms up and overhead, and then forward fold with your exhale. Halfway lift as you inhale. Bring the hands to the mat with your exhale. Plank with your in-breath, and then lower all the way down to the mat as you exhale. Let's do a shoulder stretch, taking the right arm out, shoulder height, palm facing the ground, and then rolling to your right side. You can adjust your left leg if you want to. Bend the knee, you might adjust your left arm. Sometimes I'll take it around the back. You might work for your fingers, but take about 2 or 3 more breaths. Inhaling and out, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Right? And try to relax the jaw, allow the head to rest on the ground maybe. Feeling what happens as you breathe in and as you breathe out. We'll take maybe 1 more breath here. And then we can come off or out of this little stretch. Take a few moments to honor yourself between sides. And sometimes I'll just find stillness. Sometimes we'll switch to the feet side to side. But we'll switch sides. So left arm comes out, shoulder height, palm facing the ground. Right hand comes under your shoulder, press into it, so roll to the left side, and adjust the right leg or the right arm as feels best to you. Maybe even adjust your head. Then you might close your eyes, right, and feel what happens as you inhale. And feel what happens as you exhale. And this is so much even more healthy for our brains than it is for our bodies at times, for both. But my last breath on this side, we can come back to center when you're ready. And then a moment for yourself in the center. And we'll bring the forehead back to the mat, hands underneath your elbows. This time we'll press up. So I don't know if we all know, but up Cobra is what we did earlier, where the pelvis stays down and we have the elbows bent. For upward dog, you straighten the arms and you lift the hips and the kneecaps. A nice big back bend. But you're welcome to take either. Coming into your Cobra or your upward dog, take a breath or 2 there, and then you can come back, maybe a child's pose, maybe your cat-cow breaths, maybe some flow, right, but counter stretch in a different way. But So spending a few moments again to honor yourself here, see how you feel. Good, and then we can make our way back into downward dog when you're ready. Grounding into your hands, tucking the toes, lifting the knees, maybe a moment or two here. See if you can feel your whole body all at the same time. And then with an inhale, we'll lift the right foot up towards the sky. Let's bend the right knee and stack the hips. Take a couple breaths here. You might do an ankle roll or a big knee circle, or maybe you just stay still. But one more breath in this free or half wild thing, we call it. And we'll come back to three-legged dog. So inhale, and then step to the top of the mat as you exhale. Let's find a crescent. So staying on the toes of your back foot as you lift your arms up to the sky. Good. Steadying here, opening the hips, the heart. You might keep your hands lifted to the sky. You might like the hands behind the back and opening the shoulders and the heart this way. But let's just do another breath or two in your crescent variation. Good. If you have the hands bound, you can release them. And we'll move into a stork, so some balance. So shift the weight into your right foot and then lift the left knee for stork. And then we'll just steady the breath in and out here. Last breath. And then we'll come back into our crescent. So step the toes to the back of the mat. Good. From here, we'll breathe in, and then let's bring the left hand down to the ground as you exhale. Open the right hand up to the sky. So opening the hips, opening the spine. Good. Breathing in and out here. Last breath. And then we'll bring both hands down to frame the foot. Lower the back knee down. And we'll do half split so we can stretch your right leg out. And we'll just stay here for maybe 3 breaths. Try to maybe lift your toes up. Sometimes I'll play around with turning the toes out or in, kind of flossing some of the fascia buildup in the hamstrings, around the hips. We'll do one more breath in this fold, and then we can lift the heart up. Shift your weight forward. We'll work with a lizard, bringing both hands to the big toe side of your foot. You might scoot your foot out a bit, but our intention is to lower the hips down. Yeah, and I can see, scoot your foot farther towards the top of your mat. Yeah, nice. So what we don't want is in our lizard, that like our knee comes past our ankle. That means you have more flexibility than you realized. You can stretch your foot farther forward and it'll open the hips more, right? But again, finding that balance that honors you. We'll take another breath or two in this lizard variation. All right, and it's intense. We did this last week, I think. Maybe it wasn't this class. I might be confused. It's frog, but from here, you're gonna turn to your left, and this is weird because I'm gonna have my bum facing the camera, so I'm gonna turn sideways. I'm gonna pretend this. Okay, so you're gonna turn to your left, and you'll land with both knees on your mat, and then you work on taking the knees out. So big inner thigh hip stretch. Yeah, Joy, you got it perfect. So knees and hips, these should be out about hip height, and your feet, we want to have them out about knee height. If that makes sense. Elbows can come down, you might rest your head, but we're going to be here maybe 3, 4, maybe 4 more breaths, and try to breathe in, deep breaths in. Exhale, equal or longer breath out, and try to soften, right? Relax the hands, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. Relax the feet, relax the hips, breathe in deep and slow into the belly. Exhale, maybe slower, out through your nose, maybe softening again, maybe another breath or two. And you're welcome to come out of this however is best for you. I find an easiest way out for me is just to kind of shift forward onto my belly. And then from there, kind of end up switching the feet side to side. Sometimes I end up in a fetal position. But we'll again take this time to honor yourself. Eventually we'll meet back in our downward dogs and do that all again on the other side. But take a few moments as is best for you. And then when you're ready, we can meet back in our downward dogs. And again, take a moment to just connect, see how you feel, see how things feel different in this shape we've been in before, but different this time. And this time we'll lift the left foot to the sky, bend your knee and stack your hips as you exhale. And you can take a few breaths here. Sometimes I'll circle the ankle. Sometimes I'll circle the knee, or even just a half rotation. Take one more breath, and then we can come back to three-legged dog as you inhale. Step to the top of the mat as you exhale. Crescent as you breathe in. So lifting the hands, staying on the toes of the back foot. It's awakening the balance, opening the hips. You can do an arm variation if you like the arm or the hands behind your back. If you do that, you want to put your other thumb on top. So I'm just keeping the balance, right? We always do things the same way. But if your hands are bound, you can release them. We'll be making our way into stork. Taking a breath in, and then as you exhale, draw your back knee up. Just a couple of breaths here. We'll try to find right angles here, right? So knee is hip height, ankles underneath the knee, the foot flex, nice. And then we'll breathe in and step back to crescent as you exhale. And then take an in breath here. It's your right hand down to the ground as you exhale for the twist. Right hand down, left hand lifts. Okay. Opening the spine, opening the hips, breathing here. And then we can bring the hand down and we can do our half splits. So the back knee comes down and you'll shift your weight backwards so that you stretch your left leg out. And again, sometimes I'll play around with lifting the toes. Sometimes just point and flex. Sometimes I'll just stay flex, turn the toes out and in, circle, but I'm just kind of flossing some fascia buildup. We can take last breath in this forward fold. And then we can lift the heart up and lunge forward, and we'll come into lizard. So both hands to the big toe side of your foot, sweep the foot over. Now make sure your knee is not past the ankle. Sneaking the hips down, you might bring your elbows down, you might not, but likely you'll come to your pigeon, and then you'll find yourself not breathing and holding the breath and holding this contraction in our bodies. And so our practice is to consciously move the breath in through your nose, out through the nose. Each exhale, try to relax a bit more. And we'll say maybe one more breath in your lizard. And then we're going to do our frog one more time. So we bring the hands into the mat and we'll walk the hands to the right, turning both knees to be on the mat with the feet in line with the knees. And you can walk the knees out farther, closer, and be mindful of the hip placement. So you can be too far forward or you can be too far back, but we're working towards having the knees and the hips in alignment and the feet opened out. Right? And you're welcome to explore. It might be you might need to sink back, towards a child's pose more, and that might get you to stretch exactly where you need to be stretched. So it might be okay to shift a bit forward, but use that as like a baseline. And likely you're not breathing, you're really tense, but right, so you practice relaxing and breathing in and out. And this does brain work, right? Not only body work. And one more breath like this. And then you can come out as feels best for you. Take a few moments again to notice how you feel, not only physically, but also mentally, emotionally. It's believed that we store emotions in our bodies. And so when we stretch in certain ways, we might sometimes suddenly feel emotional because we opened up into a space where we kind of, an emotion we kind of pushed away and now it's here. We don't know why. Right? So sometimes we experience emotion when stretching. And we don't need to know why is what we're learning, right? Just allowing the motion to exist. Nice, Joy. Good. We can come back and meet in a malasana. So one more deep hip stretch. Well, we can come into it from downward dog if you like, but we bring the feet to be wide on the mat, toes wide, turning out, hips low. So malasana or yogi squat. Yeah. And this is one where you can adjust also the foot placement. Sometimes, the feet are in too close or too wide. So, play around with the spacing and the angles. And you might have stillness here. Sometimes adding a little rock side to side is good for the hips. Be mindful of the knees though. We don't want the knees to kind of have any sensation really. And we'll take one more breath in our malasana. And we'll meet seated. And you can add in a crow if you want to. I know that's something some of you are working on, but feel free to add it in or not. You can meet seated when you're ready. Nice, guys. Yeah. Now try to bring your toes to touch. And then try to lift the heels up. Yes, good job, Will. Beautiful. Nice, nice drawing. Awesome. Yes, beautiful. Awesome. Good job. So crow is a beautiful way to build up strength, but never any pressure to do that. But we'll meet in our Bada Kanasana, bringing the soles of the feet together. We call it bound angle. And we can fold here. Right? So you might work on pulling your belly down more than you're pulling your head down, if that makes sense. So you want to get the lower back and the hips stretched here. So you might kind of pull the heart or the belly through the legs, but ultimately relax the neck, relax the jaw, move the breath in and out. Right? You know, it's repetitive and I'm saying it, but so often I have students tell me, every time you said it, I was holding my breath, I was clenching my jaw, I didn't even know I did this. And I realized this, and then we realize how much we do it in our lives. And we can stop the pattern and feel much better in our bodies and our lives. So we can come up when you're ready. And then from here, we'll stretch, take a moment to do as you like, but we'll meet in a seated wide leg forward fold. So I want to fold to the middle. So we're going to sit up tall and then reach, again, think about pulling the belly down. Sometimes we're like trying to do this and we're not stretching out this part of our body. So we want to pull this way. So we're getting the lower back stretch. Allow the head to drop, right? Shoulders relax. Couple breaths. Joy, I saw you working the arm balance, Titibasana. So you guys are welcome to stretch. I'm going to demonstrate something real quick that I think Joy might be able to do. It's hard. I think we might have tried this too. But you come to standing and you bring your hands behind your ankles, and then you come back onto your hands and you lift your legs. Oh, my pant legs are slippery. But it's an arm balance that, yeah. And that's a fun one to do, but nice. No pressure to do it. You're welcome to stay and stretch and come out. Nice, Will. Yeah, good job. Those are so hard. So it's called Titibasana or dragonfly, but this is also a version of dragonfly that we're doing. So I figured I'd throw that in there. But very nice. You can come to our backs whenever you're ready. Take a moment to add in anything else seated, or you might want a seated twist or forward fold with the ankles together, anything else that you would like before coming to your back. Okay, but once you're on your back, take a moment and just add in a little bit of massage. So maybe the hands to the knees, circling, maybe scissoring the knees, maybe opening one knee out, the other knee out. Good, and then we can come back to center. And then we'll add in some twists. So open the arms out to the sides at a T. And we'll breathe in here. And as you exhale, take your knees to the left and turn your chin to the right. Come back through center with your in-breath. And then switch sides as you exhale. Knees to the right, chin to the left. Back through center with your inhale. And then exhaling, switching sides, nice and slow. Again, big breath in as you come through center. And then twisting as you exhale. Do this again. Each side, moving at your own pace. Maybe close your eyes. Very nice, slow, mindful breath. Feeling the whole way through each breath. And then once your sides are balanced, we can meet back in the center. And then we'll come into a full happy baby pose. So knees come to center, but then take them away from each other and open the feet towards the sky. And you might hold your feet or your ankles. You might add in a little rock, or sometimes I'll work on straightening both legs out here or stretching one leg out here. And just, again, coming outside of your normal mobility plane is really helpful to kind of lost some fascia buildup. I can talk more about fascia later if you guys are interested, but I don't want to keep you here longer. We're going to come into our Supta Bada Kanasana from here. So you'll guide your feet down to the ground and bring the soles of your feet together. And the knees open out away from each other. And you can adjust your feet. You can adjust your arms. You might take them overhead if that feels nice. You might take them to the body if that feels nice. But just a couple breaths. And breathing in through your nose. Breathing out through the nose. Couple more breaths. And coming back to maybe refining the breath. Again, feeling any of the areas where the breath feels choppy or shaky or gaspy. And I want to try to smooth those out. And those are believed to be mental, emotional stuff that kind of lodged in the body in ways. As we smooth it out, we work it out without the mental processing. So last breath like this. When you're ready, you can come out, take a few moments for yourself. Maybe you add in a little bit of movement, or maybe you just find stillness here. You can bring the knees to the chest when you're ready. And we'll take a moment to reset in the center, and then let's extend the left leg out and rest the left leg out along the mat, and then circle the right knee a few times and just circling. You can use your right hand to guide it, or maybe not. A couple circles, maybe both directions, and then we can take a nice big twist. So take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, your right arm out to your side, take an inhale, and then twist over to the left as you exhale. And then deep inhales through your nose, exhaling through the nose. Notice if your neck is tense, maybe the chin can fall to one side. And relax maybe your hands or your feet. Breathing in and out, feeling what happens through each breath. Trying to refine the choppiness in the breath. And last breath here. And then when you're ready, you can come out of your twist. We'll take a couple breaths before we switch sides. And a few moments for yourself here. And then maybe you reset by bringing both knees in first. But next we'll extend the right leg out and rest the right heel out along the mat. And maybe a couple knee circles, full circles, half circles, semicircles. But you might just close your eyes and feel around, see if there's any irregular or any choppy spots or crunchy spots. You might work on smoothing or refining those areas in the hip. And then we can take a twist when you're ready. We'll take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, left arm out to the side. Breathe in and then twist over to your right as you exhale. Again, a few breaths breathing in and out through your nose. And try to steady and refine the breath, smooth the breath. Relaxing each, maybe relaxing a bit more with each exhale. Last breath in this twist. Whenever you are ready, you can come out nice and slow. Take a few moments again for yourself. You might keep your eyes closed and just see how you feel. And when you're ready, you can bring the knees to the chest and the hands to your kneecaps, holding your knees. One hand on each knee, fingertips face the toes. We'll come back to Apanasana. So as you inhale, straighten the arms, move the knees away, and then exhale as you bend your elbows and bring the knees back. And again, breathing in, take the knees away from you. Exhale, bringing the knees back. And maybe last one, try to move nice and slowly. And then we can come into our dead bugs pose, where we extend the hands and the feet towards the sky, but keeping your core relaxed so that your legs may still be bent. Keep your shoulders grounded, the wrists relaxed, the ankles relaxed. Sometimes we'll just totally relax wrists and ankles. Sometimes I'll circle the ankles and wrists or open the hands and fingers. But you can choose whether you want to just be still or if you want to add in a little bit of wrist and ankle rotation. Good. And then from here, you're going to just bend your knees, rest your hands and feet down to the ground, and then take a moment and just feel. And notice the tingling, maybe a lightness, maybe there's sensation on one side more than the other. There's nothing right or wrong to feel, just a matter of coming into feeling. And then we'll do this little exercise like we did earlier, but then we'll add in some contralateral stuff for the brain. So as you inhale, take your hands to the sky or overhead and feet towards the sky. And as you exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands back down by your hips. So knees to chest. And again, as you inhale, take the feet to the sky, arms overhead, backs of the hands may touch the ground. And then exhale, knees to the chest, hands down by your hips. Good. One more time. So we're going to work with these shapes. We're inhaling as we open, And then as you exhale, you tuck. And then for the contralateral part, we're going to do opposite sides. So it'll be your right leg and your left arm that extend where we just were. Yeah. And then exhale as you tuck and bring everything back to where you were. And then you switch sides. So it'll be the left leg and right arm as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, you tuck and come back to where you were. So again, right leg, left arm, breathe in. And then tuck as you exhale. And then switching sides with your in-breath, left leg, right arm, breathe in. And then exhale as you tuck. So one more time, each side on your own. Maybe close your eyes. Inhaling as you open. And then exhaling as you tuck. Sometimes it seems simple and we get mixed up. So last time, we'll balance the sides. And then once your sides are balanced, you'll do both legs and both arms. As you inhale, you open and extend. And then exhale as you tuck. And then you can just rest, hands and feet down to the ground. And just, again, take a moment to just feel. And notice how you feel. Nothing more, nothing right or wrong to feel, but just coming into that feeling state. Good. And then we'll do a couple rounds of dynamic bridge pose, where we ground the feet, bringing them hip distance and the hands down by your hips. As you inhale, lift your hips up, take the arms overhead. And as you exhale, roll hips and hands back down nice and slow. And again, like that. As you inhale, lift your hips, lift your hands up. And then exhale as you roll down nice and slowly. Good. Last one. As you breathe in, press into the feet, lift the hips, lift the hands up. And then exhale, rolling down nice and slow, maybe one vertebrae at a time. And once you're down, you can do as you wish. And we'll come into one more happy baby pose. So both knees wide, both feet towards the sky, and you may hold the feet or your ankles or your calves or wherever feels best. We'll take about 5 or 6 breaths in this, since this will be probably maybe your last thing before Shavasana. So we want a nice long inversion where we have the feet lifted above the heart. Some of you might choose to come out of happy baby and do a shoulder stand instead, or even just a dead bugs pose or a plow, or maybe even legs up the wall pose for them. But you're welcome to take, stay in your happy baby, or if you'd like any of those other inversion options, you're welcome to take those options. But maybe another 2 or 3 breaths in your inversion. Yes. Wherever you are, keep breathing. And then our next pose together will be Shavasana, but take your time to get there. I think today I'll do a bit of Yoga Nidra, which is, they call it a meditation, but it's really a relaxation practice and a great way to help relax the body, but also the mind. So we'll go through that in a moment, but feel free to add in anything else you would like before you come into your final resting pose of Shavasana. And we want Shavasana to be really comfortable. So I'll give some cues, but you can make adjustments that feel best for you. But Shavasana, you have the legs extended out, the arms extended out. They have an external rotation of the legs or the arms. You want to get really comfortable. I sit up so that I maintain awareness, but your job is to relax completely. So allow your eyes to close, allow your breath to come into its own rhythm, and just a short scan of the body to see if there's contraction of the jaw or the face or the neck or the shoulders. But in a moment, we'll be moving our attention around through the body from one part into the other. And if you like, you can say the name of the part in your mind, but more importantly, I want to become aware of it and feel into that part of the body. And so we'll begin with the left side of the body. You can take your attention to the left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, kneecap, shin, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Relax completely. Take your attention to the left side of your body. Become aware of your left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, kneecap, shin, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, back of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Relax completely. Become aware of all of your right arm. Become aware of all of your left arm. Become aware of both arms. Become aware of all of your right leg. Become aware of all of your left leg. Become aware of both legs. Relax completely. Become aware of your entire body. Spreading your attention through your entire body. And now cultivate joy, gratitude, appreciation. Cultivating gratitude and joy and appreciation, allowing this to spread through your entire body and beyond. And relax all effort. Bring your attention back to your breathing. feeling how the body breathes itself, observing how the breath moves in and out, knowing that you can adjust the rhythm of your breath to make you feel differently within your body. Begin to deepen your breath here, gently awakening the body, and bringing small movements back into your fingers and your toes. Taking a few moments with your eyes closed, just becoming aware of the ground beneath you and the room around you. You can stretch into your hands and your feet and your arms and your legs, and you can take your time. And when you're ready, you can bend your knees and make your way to lie on either side in the fetal position for a few moments. Again, noticing how you feel. And whenever you are ready, you can press back to seated. No rush to get there, but once you arrive at seated, you can bring your hands to your heart. Just taking a moment and reconnecting to self and carrying this practice with you. And I thank each of you for your practices. Namaste.
Yay, happy Monday. Somehow I can stop recording. There we go.